Hey, everyone, and welcome to day 6 of our study through the New Testament. We've been going chronologically through the New Testament, and at this point, we've reached what's known as the Magnificat, or what's known as Mary's Song of Praise. And it's the title that you see there that they have given that derives from the Latin Vulgate translation. It's the first word of the Latin Vulgate the translation that they have, and it means magnifies. And as we go through this and look at this, we're going to see it is a song of praise that Mary sings. It's known a hymn that's known. It's the first of three hymns in Luke one chapters 1 through 2. There's two other ones that we're going to look at as we go through the New Testament. Some interesting things here. The song has a parallel to Hannah's prayer in Samuel 2 verses 1 through 10, so you can look that up and see some parallels there. It also echoes some of the Old Testament psalms of Thanksgiving. That give a song of thanks and reasons for such thanks, and you can see those in Psalms in the notes there, Psalms 30, 34, and 38. So I'm going to go through these. I debated back and forth whether to go through this, but as I read it and read it a couple of times, I wanted to hit at some certain things as we went through this. And so we're going to be going through Luke 1 verses 46 through 56 here, and looking at this song of praise from Mary. So she starts out, "Oh, how my soul praises the Lord, how my spirit rejoices in God my Savior." A typical kind of song of praise or start to a praise here. It says, "For he took notice of his lowly servant girl, and from now on all generations call me blessed. For the mighty one is holy, and he has done great things for me." One of the things that I like that she says here, she refers to herself as the lowly servant girl, and I think that's a reminder to us that we need to remember that humble position, never to get too haughty, never to get to think too much of ourselves. The Lord tends to humble those who think they're themselves real proud. So I like how she does that, and for the mighty one is holy and he has done great things for me. And no matter who we are, what position we are, if we're lowly, obviously Mary was in a very lowly position. She wasn't rich, and so she brings out the great things that the Lord had done for her. In verse 50, he shows mercy from generation to generation to all who fear him, and that is so true. Man, those who fear and respect the Lord, he shows mercy to us, and we're going to see later on the mercy and the grace that he shows us, those who fear him. His mighty arm has done tremendous things. He has scattered the proud and the haughty ones. And I just kind of hit on that a little bit. You know, I think we've all been there. We've all seen that, been in that proud and haughty position, and the Lord's humbled us, and it's not a fun experience. He has brought down princes from their thrones and exalted the humble. Again, referring to, and we're going to see this. This parallels Jesus' ministry a lot, where he didn't come into the world and visit those who were high in power and who had lots of power or could give him what he wanted, or put him into a position of power. He came in and he challenged those in power, and he exalted those who were very lowly and humble. And I think we should remember that in our churches, and remember that in our everyday lives, of who it was that Jesus showed the most no, attention to also, but went after and sought after himself. He didn't go after power, he went after the humble. He has filled the hungry with good things and sent the rich away with empty hands. He has helped his servant Israel and remembered to be merciful. Again, he's talking about those helping the poor, helping those who are hungry, and sending away the rich. Very often it's the opposite in today's society. We're not going to, we see poor, we see the hungry, where we're going to go after the people who can help us, right? We're going to go after the rich, and that's not the way Jesus works. He works the exact opposite. He has helped his servant Israel and remembered to be merciful. Again, we need to parallel that. We need to remember that we need to show mercy to people. We need to be like him, and do the same things that he does. Verse 55, "For he has made this promise to our ancestors, to Abraham and his children forever." Again, referring to the promise that's coming forward, that Jesus is going to be bringing. And it's just a wonderful promise. I like this. Read this a couple times. Take the time to go through this a couple times and read her praise. It's a simple prayer. It's a simple praise or song of praise. And doesn't there's not a lot of deep meaning in it. It means what it says, and that's what I like about it. And so just reread that a couple times, and then we'll finish with verse 56. It says Mary stayed with Elizabeth about 3 months and then went back to her own home. So we see here that Mary, stayed with Elizabeth more than likely through because it had been 6 months when she had visited. And so she stayed 3 more months. The assumption there is in 9 months that Elizabeth gave birth to John. And so she stayed until he was born and then went back. And the other thing that's the highlight there, she went back to her home, or her own home. So still at this point, she was still betrothed to Joseph, but they weren't living together. They weren't officially married yet. So just some notes to remember there. But again, this is a short 10, 11 verses, and there's just not a ton of deep stuff there, but it's this what it says is so powerful. And I mean, just some of the things that we can mimic and make sure that we parallel, that what Jesus is, who he is, and how he comes and he seeks after the humble, and he praises those who are humble and lowly, and we just need to remember to be those type of people, and not seek power, not seek position, but to remember those who need the help the most, and that's who Jesus was. And so that's kind of what we have today. Again, one of the things I'd like to ask is if you can share these, if you find value in them. I hope you are. We're trying to make them a little bit better and go a little bit deeper with each one as we get through this and learn the process and figure it out. But share these if you can. Subscribe to them. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and just interact with them as much as possible. It helps us and helps us spread this word. And I hope these are enjoyable and you are learning something from them. I appreciate it. I hope y'all have a good day. Thank you.